Good morning. We will call the October 20th, 2025 work session of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners to order. Welcome, citizens of Douglas County. County Clerk, would you please take the roll for the record?
Yes, ma'am. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell. Present. District 2 Commissioner Whitney Kenner-Jones.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Martin Raxton.
Present.
District 4 Commissioner Vice Chair Mark Alcaraz.
Present.
Chairman Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones.
Present. Thank you so much, Clerk. Clerk, did we have anyone sign up for public comment today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item, which is the agenda adoption. Clerk, would you please?
Yes, ma'am. We had a request to remove item number 22, which is approval of a contract amendment with Ray Lynn regarding Public Works Transfer Station.
Okay. Board of Commissioners, have you had an opportunity to review 22? Okay. That being said, Board of Commissioners, are there any other changes that need to be made to the agenda? If none, do we have a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of item number 22, tab number 22, as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by, please cast your votes. Do you want us electronic? Yeah, please cast your electronic votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries for the exception to accept the agenda and adopt as stated earlier. Board of Commissioners, if we be mindful, we have 3 minutes to make remarks and 2 minutes for our rebuttal. Next is if you would just be mindful about our agenda. Next on our agenda would be the Commissioners, please review the minutes for tomorrow and then be prepared to approve or deny accordingly. Financial report, be prepared to adopt a financial budget report for the month of September in tomorrow's meeting. Now we will begin with our agenda items. Clerk, would you please start with the first item?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, tomorrow we will have a presentation for the Youth Commission swearing in, and Tiffany Stewart Stanley will be introducing them. We will also have 4 proclamations. The first one is proclaiming November 2nd as Retired Educators Day in Douglas County. Pat Flickinger will be here to present that. Number 6 is proclaiming the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Douglas County. Brenda Grissom will be reading that proclamation. Number 7 is proclaiming the week of October 12th through the 18th, 2025 as Veterinary Technician Week in Douglas County. Vanessa Franskowski will be presenting that one. And last is proclaiming the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Douglas County. Teresa Smith will be here to present that one. Next on our agenda are grants. Number 9 is authorization to accept the HEAT grant, Georgia 2026-Douglas SO 137, from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety in the amount of $37,881.12, with a local match of $151,524.48 to be funded by the Sheriff's Office budget, establish the grant budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Major Sergeant Thomas is not here.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you guys hear me? I know my voice is a little low. So pretty much what she just said.
If you could state your name for us.
Oh, I'm sorry, Latifah Terry Bolds. So I work over in the sheriff's office as the grants assistant. So okay. Sergeant Floyd isn't here, or Susan Shahada. So I said, let me come over just in case.
Okay.
So the sheriff's office has been awarded this grant for the past few years through the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. And the goal of the Highway Enforcement of Aggressive Traffic Unit is to combat crashes, injuries, and fatalities caused by impaired driving and speeding, while also increasing the seatbelt use and educating the public about traffic safety and the dangers of DUI. So this grant covers a portion of enforcement hours with focused efforts on alcohol and drug impaired driving, speeding and occupant protection, educational events and goals of the program, operating expenses for the vehicles, and travel for GOHS approved training events.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Bowles. Any questions? Okay. Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So just curious, I noticed in the 2024 version of the grant that the local match was 60%. Why did it increase to 80%? Is there any documentation to say that the local match had to go up by 20%?
So I think that's just how it works with the Governor of Highway Safety, and the grant changes throughout each year. And so I think last year we were at 60-40, and this year we're at 80-20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Good morning,
each
Jim.
year, good morning, each year it will, it goes in increments. So it's on a cycle. Next year, since we're on 20% this year, next year we probably will get nothing. And then the following year, we'll be back at the 80% federal, 20% match. And then it'll go down in 20% increments each year till the cycle starts over again.
Okay, so this is a known entity where the cycle changes year over year?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying next year will probably be 100%, so that's something that, or
Next year-
0%?
Yeah, next year we
for
probably will not get it at all,
anything.
and then we'll restart the cycle in fiscal year '27.
Okay, well, that's good to know, especially when we're talking about for planning purposes for next year, that for 2026, there's a probability, a possibility we won't get any.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you for answering that. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Any other questions, board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Master Sergeant Thomas Floyd. There you are. You're in. You want to just come say hello to us this morning? And you did a great job, Ms. Bowles, by the way, since he's here.
Good
just-
morning, you all. I'm the sergeant over the heat unit. We need a parking deck out there. I drove around about 5 minutes trying to find parking, so. Any questions for me?
We don't. You do a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you on the heat unit. And could you just explain what the heat unit?
Yeah, so we're a Governor's Office of Highway Safety Task Force. It's, HEAT acronym stands for Highway Enforcement of Aggressive Traffic. So we focus on speeders, DUIs, distracted driving, and occupant protection, seatbelts. So we focus mainly on those violations of the law that really get people killed. So that's, I'm not worried about brake lights and headlights. It's, if you're doing over 90 on the interstate, we're coming for you. If you're DUI, we're coming for you. You're driving around with your phone in your hand, we're looking for you. So,
Okay. Any questions, board, for Master Sergeant Floyd? All right, thank you for coming.
thank you
in.
all for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
Clerk, you have the
Yes.
next one.
Number 10 is authorization to submit a congestion mitigation and air quality improvement CMAQ grant application to the Georgia Department of Transportation in connection with the Highway 5 at Mason Creek Road roundabout project in the amount of $3,187,500 with a required 20% match to be funded from SPLOST 2022 fund, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Solomon Rana.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners,
Good
and
morning.
County Administration. Highway 5 at Mason Creek is a SPLOST roundabout project that we're currently collecting data and designing the initial conceptual layouts for. There's been a rising cost of the project due to increased scrutiny and regulations by the state on state routes, on projects that are being led by local county on state routes. Due to the rising cost, we've identified this alternate source of funding called the CMAQ grant. This grant is due towards the end of this month, and we're proposing an ask of $3.1 million. This will require a 20% match that comes out to about $637,000. With that, we're recommending your approval on the grant application, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Managing Director Rana. Any questions for, okay, Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
All right, thank you and good morning. All right, so just for clarification, I think you stated, but just want to just clarify, so the 20% match from the county is $637,000, not the 1.3 million?
That's correct, $637,000.
Gotcha, okay. And then when do we think that we will hear from the state on the approval of the award?
I would anticipate it to be somewhere between mid to late spring next year.
Okay, all right. So that's good to know, just from a timing purposes, as, you know, when we think that we'll have the funds available or know about that awarding. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Any other questions? All right, Madam Clerk?
Number 11 is authorization
you.
to submit a congestion mitigation and air quality improvement CMAQ grant application to the Georgia Department of Transportation in connection with a 3-year pilot project to connect to H.E. Holmes MARTA station at a cost of $1,696,500 to be with a required 20% local match of $339,000 to be funded by the departmental budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Ron Roberts.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners,
morning. Good
Administration.
morning.
Yes, the CMAQ funding is opened up September 15th, and it closes October 31st this year. There were several projects that were available for the county to pursue as it relates to transit, and I wanted to walk through that real quick. What we looked at and what we have heard from some of the commissioners and from the public as we went through the transit master plan a few years ago was that most people desired connectivity to Atlanta, to Cobb, things like that. In fact, in order for a transit project to be even eligible for CMAQ, it has to be in the ARTP, it has to be in the MTP. These are transportation documents that ARC and ATL have. The other component for a transit project to be eligible is that it goes through a thorough planning process within the county that's submitting it. Fortunately, Douglas County went through that process back when we adopted the transit master plan back in December of '23. And from that, 47% of the respondents out of 1,700 respondents desired more direct connections to downtown Atlanta and then also Hartsfield-Jackson. So, in meeting with some of the commissioners and the discussions specifically around the World Cup activities of next year, H.E. Holmes seemed like the best approach for us. And the way we were going to fund it is we've looked at all of our routing, and we have some. We're not going to cut any routes, but we're going to cut some of the peak buses. We call them block cuts to the service, which would allow us to come up with the match of the $339,000 out of our existing budget over the next 3 years for the $1.6 million application. So yeah, that's, if you've got any questions,
Okay.
I'm here for
Thank-
those.
Thank you so much, Director
Sure.
Roberts. Any questions for Director Roberts? Okay, Vice Chair Alvarez, you have the floor.
Looking at these in regards to possibly going to, the airport or also H.E. Holmes, is it going to require us to purchase any more buses?
No, we would use them out of the existing buses. We would. So the H.E. Holmes is designed, the way I wrote the grant is going to be 2 buses that would operate 7 to 8, just like our existing schedule, Monday through Friday, one leaving the MMTC back here and one leaving from H.E. Holmes. I already reached out after the World Cup meeting that Commissioners Raxton and Whitney Kenner-Jones held, and they expressed this interest. I knew that I needed to get started immediately having those discussions with MARTA so that we get to H.E. Holmes. I met with MARTA staff virtually, the support services, the director of support services there. There's no issues. They have some agreements that they're going to put forward for us to sign, MOUs, things of that nature. But outside of that, we'll have a place in what they call the kiss and cry lane, which is the area outside of HE Homes where other bus services pull up and utilize that for connectivity. So we will just divert the buses that we were using for peak for use for HE Homes.
So it's only going to run from 7 in the morning till 8 at night?
Right.
So if we get those, if we provide transportation to some of those to get down to the World Cup, to HE Homes, and if we stop service and the game runs till 8, 9, or 10, then I
Those
guess,
are our current service hours. If there was a discussion on a change on service hours or things like that, then we would have to reconfigure. But these are just numbers based on our current service level and what we have out in the field.
could it be flexible in case we see that we may have some of those games that run at that time to where we can, have some of those?
That
to where
could
we-
be a discussion. I don't
Okay.
know what that would do to the funding numbers. Like I said, we're pretty tight with our budget as it is. But that would certainly welcome any opportunity to give that advantage. I do have another point of good news that I'll just tell you. The other action was the connection to the airport. That was a big deal. And so when I put the application in, and I got some phone calls from ATL staff who had already looked at, they're working on what's called in-person employment centers. They call it IPEC. And they already had looked at West Douglas and MMTC and a connection to MARTA, which either that's MARTA at Hartsfield or even Indian Springs. And but they're not ready to meet with y'all yet, but they wanted, they wanted me to know that not to put that application in because they were working on something similar that would benefit Douglas County.
Okay. And then the last question I have is, because I know our rate fees are low, if we provide transportation to HE Homes or eventually to the airport, are those prices going to be elevated because we're obviously traveling further?
Well, we do keep the same fee structure that we have. This is $250 for the fares. That's comparable with what CobLink and MARTA pays as well.
Okay. All right. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Vice Chair, any other questions? Board? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on, I have
Commissioner Mitchell, I'm so sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry, my apologies. Just so I'm clear though, Ron, so the airport run is not something that you're not considering on this particular scenario here though. This is strictly HE Homes.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's
And-
just HE Homes.
and-
It's just that when the opportunity came out, obviously we get very excited about free money and the opportunity to do anything. So that was a draft that we put forward. Then when they saw the draft, they were like, wait a minute, hold on that one.
Right, and this is all based on potentially a ride rate of $250, that you think you'll cover this this $339 in a 3-year time span of ridership from your budget.
Yes, so what we did was we looked at our performing routes. So the Route 40 going to Fulton Industrial Boulevard, we run peak routes. We run extra buses during peak service. A lot of the individuals that ride and connect with us through the 73 at Fulton Industrial Boulevard are connecting for shift services at Medline. They're connecting for the components at Riverside. So those peak buses have been largely underutilized, so we felt like that was the place we could cut, and it wouldn't impact service as much, and it would give us the opportunity for this program.
Got it, so okay, but you're under the impression that, I know you're basing this off of the World Cup, that the $250 would be enough to cover this in a 3-year time span if I'm doing the math.
No, sir.
Okay.
Our fare collection is less than 2% of our overall budget.
Right.
I mean, that's been stated and that's covered. And we don't anticipate that this is like I said, it's not going to pay for itself if that's what you mean.
Right, okay, that's why I thought I was hearing you said earlier that the $250, this $339,000 would be covered somewhat in a 3-year time span, leading up or getting around the World Cup and all that good stuff.
No,
But
sir.
that's not
Just-
the
just-
case.
It's just based on cuts that we would make internally to what we're already providing in our system.
Okay, so you're going to cut internally to adjust to make the numbers kind of sort of work. Because I'm just trying to see where you get into 250 at a ride share to cover 339,000 when it comes to this. That's all I'm trying to understand, wrap around my head.
It comes from, so as an example, so we would need, in order to get 339,000, we would need 113,000 a year. So the block run cuts that we were looking at would be 169,000 off of the Route 40 FIB, Fulton Industrial Boulevard. So that's where that number
But the
comes from.
250 wouldn't come close to covering that, though.
Our fares,
I mean, fair cost,
No, sir.
not 250,000, but $2.50 fair rides wouldn't cover that 339,000 in a 10-year time span.
no, sir.
Okay, that's what I was just trying to make sure of. Okay, and last but not least, so this 20% is going to come out of the general funds
Comes
to
out
make
of
this
our
work,
existing budget.
out of your existing budget. So in your budget, you have $339,000 to cover something of this caliber.
If we make make the cuts that we've discussed to the Route 40, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, the block cuts, we would have 169,000 per year out of our budget. And we would need 113,000 per year in order to make up the match for the 339,000 for the 20% local match.
Okay, so are you doing the math annually? I'm trying to, I'm trying to understand kind of how.
That's looking at what our cuts are for that particular service.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and I was looking at over a 3-year period. Yes, that is correct.
Got it. You want to add something to this conversation?
Nothing, I just responded to when you pointed out, but basically, Connect Douglas will remain a subsidized service, so fares by itself won't cover it.
I didn't think so.
Our revenue or our budget will basically support the 20% match, and we'll make the necessary cuts to make up the difference, which is the 20%.
So-
And it's over 3 years. The 300 number is over 3 years, so it comes down to 100 and some change per year, which will accommodate in our existing budget.
Right, so it's within your budget to cover it on a 3-year time span.
Right.
To make this work. What obligations do we have with, who is this, GDOT? Who is doing this? Georgia Department of
GDOT.
Transportation. What obligations do we have if we pull out early, if we don't, kind of,
Oh, this is the first year that GDOT's actually managing the CMAQ grant, so this is kind of a new area for them. I don't know if the pilot program, I don't know if you're saying if we started it and then stopped it.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, the fact that it's a pilot project, that means there's a high degree of uncertainty going into this endeavor. There's always a pull-out clause from both sides, but it would require a robust public engagement for those who do depend on it. If for some reason it is unsuccessful, we'll work with our state and regional partners and see what's a way out.
But would that happen annually, that we'll look at this? Or this 20% is upfront to get the 1.6 to do this?
It's an expense and reimburse as you go. We monitor ridership quarterly, so we'll be monitoring it at that way. And once we have a trend strong enough to justify a conclusion one way or the other, that's when we'll initiate those conversations if needed.
Got it. And we'll pay accordingly.
Our monthly, those are basically monthly operating expenses that we pay and then request reimbursements. So the operations will pretty much depict a very good picture of which way it's trending.
But the state's in there 1.6 monthly as well. I mean, how does that?
Right, so 1.6 over 3 years, you'll expense
Okay.
X amount per month, and then we'll get reimbursements on a monthly basis from GDOT. The
Got it.
ridership will clock in quarterly, and those financial and ridership trends will show you a picture of how it's looking.
Got it. So this is more of a monthly / when we're sending the expense to whatever we're doing and the cost, and the numbers are monthly, monthly or annual,
Quarterly.
monthly or quarterly as to how we're get reimbursed as this goes. So it's not a 1.6 and or 339,000
Not upfront.
up. Okay. All right. Thank you. I yield. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Vice Chair, I believe you had a question.
Yeah, just for 'em. Then you may want to step there, run it up. All right, so why, I'm just curious, why are we stuck on this $2.50 fee when we're doubling the mileage in regards to how far we're traveling? We're adding more in regards to labor time, so we're losing more money. Why will we not try to at least maybe make it $4.50, $5? You're doubling the amount of travel time plus wear and tear on our vehicles. Why would we not increase that fee? Just somebody please explain that to me.
So last month, or actually in August, I submitted for a transit trust fund. I believe I mentioned that when we were at our transportation subcommittee meeting. So that's a $400,000 grant that there is no match for. And the purpose of that TFF fund was partly to analyze what the fares are, and see what the general public feels comfortable paying as fares. It's called a fare elasticity study, and so that's what it was submitted for, and that has been awarded. It's been posted, as a matter of fact, as of this morning. So that's something we will engage in. But for right now, I think for us to increase fares and be even more expensive than Cobb and MARTA might be a detriment to our service. Because, I mean, fares are not, they're not going to make up the difference for our budget. Ours is largely these federal grants, which are dependent on ridership.
That I completely understand, but we're talking about a need to just go to HE Homes. We're not talking about ridership within inside the county. We're talking about for those who just want to go from here to HE Homes and back. I don't think that it makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well,
because they have a desire to just go to HE Homes. It's not like they have a desire $250 around town. Fine. Okay, we've accomplished, but we're talking about doubling the amount of time and labor costs and maintenance and wear and tear on our vehicles, and we're saying that we can't raise, if you want to go from here or anywhere around town for $2.50, fine with that. But if you want to double the amount of mileage we're traveling somewhere and you have to pay another $2, I'm sorry, but you need to pay another $2. That's like our fire and EMS department. The more runs we have to make and all that, things have to go up, things have to increase. We can't just keep saying about the amount of ridership. We got to look also from a business perspective of how much more are we going to cost the county. And so we've got to look at that. If they want to go to HE Homes, then I'm sorry, I think they need to pay at least another couple of dollars. It's just, that's my opinion. I'm going to yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chair. Any other questions, board?
Just one more, Madam Chair.
Okay, Commissioner
Ron,
Mitchell?
thank you. Ron, what's the, you've got ridership data as of today that you can share with the board?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, we have our
Beautiful.
transportation subcommittee meeting tomorrow.
Okay, good, beautiful. And I love to see that as well. And
I'll send you a copy.
What is today's cost? I know it's $250, but is it free now, or have you started back a cost to the ridership today? I mean, meaning not today, but
When you say cost per ridership, so we have a software that we use that we got free from.
no. Let me get what I'm asking. I'm only asking to see, because I thought it was free for the last several months. Is it still free, or is there a cost?
No,
Okay.
sir.
When
When
did
we
the-
initiated the free fares.
Okay.
That would, and I want to say it was zero-based fare
Okay.
policy,
Zero-based fare. Okay, I can take that.
because it's not, that's the vernacular that's preferred. But we initiated that when we redid all of our routes back in May of '24. So we rolled out entirely new routes in May of '24, and the board allowed us to do that zero-based fare policy through the end of last year. So January 2nd was
So it was free from that point to January 2025.
from May to December.
It was free. From January moving forward to this date, what's the cost?
It's the 250 plus.
Okay, so since January, it's been 250.
Right.
Because I know there was a time when it was free. I was just trying to verify the time factor.
Right.
So that, am I correct in my date, in my time?
May to December, zero-based fares.
Right,
Ridership
zero-based
was
fare, right.
here.
And I apologize for the wrong we'll call it zero-based fare. So as of January 2025 and today's date, it's 250.
Yes, but there, you know, obviously we also have $1 for the disabled and seniors.
$2.50, but
Right.
there is a cost.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Commissioner
One
Mitchell.
last second.
Okay, Vice Chair, you
I
have
just
the
want to ask you a
floor.
question, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But in our last Transportation Committee meeting, when we started charging, the ridership is down like 73%.
Oh.
Am I correct in saying that? For
That's,
our last,
that's about right, yes.
Okay.
It dropped dramatically, which is what initiated me to put in for the Transit Trust Fund grant.
right.
To
But no-
see what the fare elasticity, what the community is willing to support in terms of fares.
No, yeah. Yes, correct. So I just, sorry, you asked the question, so I wanted to make sure you got answered. And I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chair. Commissioner
I
Kennedy-Jones.
don't want to leave the public with the impression that people only ride the buses, though, because it's zero-based fares. The ridership goes down when we charge for fares because the individuals who are using it, the difference in $10 a month, it could make or break their budget. That's the change in whether or not they can afford groceries, pay cell phone bills, have access to internet, cable. So those people have resorted to walking. I just passed a woman this morning with an infant walking down Riverside trying to get to the warehouses over there. So it's not just that people want to use the service when it's free or that they're exploiting it. It's that they legitimately can't afford the $2.50 to ride it.
Correct.
I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Kennedy-Jones. And also Director Roberts, I believe in my discussion with you, you said it helps, you know, well, the zero base really is a game changer because what it does, it allows, you know, it increases the ridership, which that increases our opportunity for grant funding. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that means that's a win-win almost because of the funding that the federal government provides if we just have someone on the bus. Does that help me out?
It does. There's not like a set formula, but that tends to be, it's the ridership plus the miles served and that those kind of components plug in. But we never know what the federal government's going to allocate for the region for transit. But, you know, Douglas County having good ridership numbers and good service makes it very competitive. And that's what makes this grant also competitive because you're actually tying together 3 different services. You guys may recall that last year the legislature cut back on the 463, which is the express route. So this actually could help those riders that are also getting to and from employment centers in Atlanta and Douglas County.
Thank you. You answered my question.
Thank you.
Any other questions or remarks, Board? Thank you so much, Director Roberts.
Okay. We will move to our business items. Number 12 is approval to accept an agreement for electronic payment processing for DOT utility permit fees with point and pay for a one-time fee of, and we're changing this to $1,580 and monthly fee of $30 with no impact to the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Director Rana.
Thank you. Madam Chair, DOT is implementing an online platform for utility permits. The vendor we've partnered with is called iWorks. iWorks outsources the financial transactions. For that, we're requesting to contract with Point and Pay, which will accept debit, credit, and check transactions on our behalf. Previously, we've tried doing the same solution with a vendor called Payrock, but their compatibility with the county was a question mark, so that attempt was rather unsuccessful. We're now coming back with a different vendor called Point and Pay. The correction that we'd like to request is that the financial numbers that are saying 2,080 be changed to 1,580. That includes a $30 monthly fee for 36 months and a $500 implementation fee. This amount will be funded from our budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions, Board?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Braxton, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Just wanted to confirm that there will be no PII data that will be uploaded onto the Douglas County website or any of our database. We will not be holding any of that data. Is that correct?
We wouldn't be. iWorks, I believe, contracts with Amazon Web Services, AWS, to have cloud storage separately. So they'll be processing and storing that data on our behalf, but it will remain accessible for our use and for us to save on our files if we need to.
Okay, so we would have access, but it would not be on our database
It
or
wouldn't
in
be.
the cloud?
It has its own cloud service.
Okay. Okay, I'm just, always concerned when we're talking about, if we have to warehouse or store in that data for the public. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Braxton. Okay, Vice Chair, you have the floor.
I'm sorry, you said that changed from 2080 to what, 15?
1580.
15, okay.
Plus
That's all.
500, I heard.
That's total sum. So I'd request that the language be changed to say, approval to accept an agreement for electronic payment processing for DOT utility permit fees with point and pay for a one-time fee of $15.80
Okay.
to be funded by our budget.
Okay.
I yield back, Madam Chair.
All right.
That was all.
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner
yes.
Mitchell? Thank you.
Yes, okay, so got the 1580 correct. The liability lies with the third party, not with the county, correct?
Yes, sir. I'll answer about the contract language. We do have indemnification clauses that we usually put out in our contracts with any
Right.
third-party vendors. I'd defer to county attorney for any other questions about that.
County Attorney?
Is that, we good on that end?
Can you repeat your
Oh,
question
I'm
about
sorry.
the third
Yeah.
party?
Yeah, with a third-party vendor collecting this type of data, credit card and personal information, if something goes haywire, hacked or whatever the case, who's liable? Are we liable or that third party is
So we-
responsible for that data? Safety?
Or a data breach or something?
Yes, a data breach, yes, that's what I'm speaking, yes.
So we do have the indemnification clauses to say that, they would indemnify the county,
Okay.
provided that there is any issues.
Right.
I would say that I usually require, especially in situations like this, where there is the exchange of information, that it be subject to the Georgia Open Records Act. So we should not be given any information out that they would not be entitled to have if it's
Okay.
not public information. This sounds like, and I don't remember this contract specifically, but this sounds like we are providing information for them to do something on our behalf.
Correct.
Where there's some potential confidentiality issues. So I'll get with Suleiman on this one just to ensure that the necessary language is in there to protect us.
Good.
Should there be some type of breach where county information is disclosed and shouldn't have been.
Correct. And to add to that, like you said right on point from the mere fact of a records request. Is that us that would have to give that information, or because it's a third party, we don't have to look if somebody make the request for some information of that sort?
So you're saying if a member of the public made a request
Open
for,
records. Oh,
but for what? What would they be asking for?
I don't know, to find out that he didn't do something with the third party incorrectly. I don't know, and somebody, they want to pull that information, so it's not in our grasp. It's really in their grasp.
Well, okay, so giving information to a third party does not make it, it's still disclosable.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
word.
Okay.
So just, if it's county information, right,
Okay.
and we give it to a third party, the requester can still get it, right?
Okay.
No different than if our documents, right, electronic documents were hosted by some other server or some other entity that held our stuff. That doesn't make it protected, right? We
Got
would
it.
just have to get it from whoever we contracted with who's holding the information.
Okay. Sounds good. I just kind of wanted to, because I can see that request coming, but that type of personal information to me would be, I don't think we should be given that, or we redact it or something. I don't know. But I don't know. Well, as long as you've read it,
Yes, I will.
you're comfortable
I'll
with.
work with Suleiman on that, most certainly.
Okay. Outside of that, thank you. Appreciate it. I yield back, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Any other questions, Board? For Managing Director? All right,
Okay.
Madam.
Number 13 is approval to accept a memorandum of agreement with Georgia Department of Transportation in connection with street lights for the Highway 166 at Chapel Hill Roundabout project with no impact to the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Solomon Rana.
Madam Chair, Chapel Hill at 166 Roundabout is a splosh project that is in final stages of right-of-way acquisition. There's existing 4 streetlights that were previously permitted by the state for them to exist on state route. Because of the expanded footprint of this project, those lights will now need to be relocated. This MOA is basically another similar contract that we previously executed with the state to reaffirm that county remains responsible for maintenance of these streetlights at a newer location, which will be completed or relocated once the project is finished. This has no impact to our budget, and we're recommending your approval. Thank you.
Okay. Board, do we have any questions for Managing Director? No questions? I just have one comment on the roundabouts. They're wonderful, but you have some citizens that really brought it to my attention that sometimes it's very challenging to maneuver those roundabouts. You know, it's a learning experience for them. Is there any type of, signage or lights blinked that just allow them to learn how to utilize the roundabouts? Some of our seniors have approached me and said they really panic around those roundabouts. Is there any type of technology that would give them a little guidance?
Yes, Madam Chair. So 2 things that will dictate your movement or maneuver through a roundabout would be striping and signage. We'll make sure that enough signage is deployed to dictate the travel way for our riders. We've also had that conversation with few roundabouts coming to Douglas County in the next few years. We've had that conversation with the state. There are a few educational videos that are already made or could be catered to Douglas County that will partner with our communication departments at the time of project completion to send out for our residents. And then we'll continue monitoring any trends. If we can deploy lighted signage, that's not typical, but if there's some safety concerns or there's a trend of side swipes or angle crashes, we can certainly consider those and deploy those as needed.
Okay, thank you. Any other remarks, Board? Okay, thank you so much, Managing Director. All right, Madam Clerk?
Okay. Number 14, approval of a resolution to adopt the updated local hazard mitigation plan pending final FEMA approval, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. James Queen.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. This is the resolution that we brought before you guys approximately a month ago for adopting the hazard mitigation plan. It has been approved by GEMA. It's currently sitting with FEMA, not being reviewed at this moment due to the government shutdown. But GEMA has asked that we ensure that this resolution's in place so that it can go as quickly as possible through FEMA.
Okay, any questions, Board? Okay, Vice Chair, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, I read through that, and to all the departments who assisted in putting that together, very well done. Very well done. Now you'll back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chair. Okay, Commissioner Raxton?
Yes, thank you. So, more of just of a comment, if there's an opportunity in the future just to get like an executive summary, just to see what was changed or what sections were changed from year to year since
Yes,
the
sir.
last report was completed. The reviewing it, I just didn't know what had been updated or modified, so
Okay.
that would be helpful.
All right.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, you have the floor back to you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. And I spoke with you on Friday, Director
Yes.
Queen, and it's very well done. I said it was a dissertation, but it was good. And then we talked about those a few things that I noticed that we would go back and revise. But other
Yes,
than
Madam
that, it
Chair.
looks good. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Number 15 is approval of a service agreement modification with Presidio for the upgrading of Douglas County BOC digital networking infrastructure in the amount of $65,000 to be funded by the Information Services Department budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Elliot Buggs.
Good morning, Madam Chair,
Good morning.
Commissioners, Administration, and happy Cybersecurity Month.
Yeah, happy. Thank you.
This year, I'd like to recommend that we consider upgrading our current cybersecurity appliance. Cybersecurity threats are becoming more and more advanced every day. Our current appliance can no longer detect these advanced attacks. We get probably hit about 200 million times per week and over 500,000 times per day via email. Any questions?
All right. Any questions, board? All right. Okay, Commissioner Kenner Jones, you have the
Yes, ma'am.
floor.
So I see AWS has had a major
Yes, ma'am.
network outage right now. Are we being impacted by that? I know a lot of the,
As of right now, no, ma'am, we're not. If you want to get offline, I can tell you one correction. We're 99% good. There's only one little thing that's up right now,
okay.
or down, in other words.
I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner
Yes, sir.
Martin Raxton, you
Thank
have
you.
the floor.
Yeah, yeah, I was just curious if there was any other backup documentation or anything else that, just to get more familiar with the services that they provided.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can provide it to you, sir.
Okay.
Right after this, I give it to you. Yes, sir.
Okay, that'd be great. It just wasn't in the document,
Yes, sir.
packet there. Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you. If there are no other questions, Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Okay. Number 16, approval of a service agreement modification with Comcast for the upgrading of Douglas County BOC digital networking infrastructure in the amount of $150,000 to be funded by the Information Services budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Elliot?
Yes, ma'am. And the same thing for cybersecurity. This is to upgrade our current infrastructure to prevent bottlenecks and keep our infrastructure going at a steady basis. Right now, we're working on old legacy equipment that could possibly be vulnerable. So we recommend that we upgrade it as soon as possible.
Okay, any questions, board? Okay, right, Madam Clerk?
Okay. Number 17 is approval of a service agreement modification with Southern Computer Warehouse for the upgrading of Douglas County BOC digital networking infrastructure power plant and backup in the amount of $60,000 to be funded by the Information Services Department budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Elliot?
Yes, once again, with cybersecurity, with all the upgrades, we have upgrades, our battery backup also here, it's located here, and without that, we won't be able to run without it. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions, board? No, no questions.
All right.
Okay. Number 18 is approval to enter into a software services agreement with Just FOIA for the records management software in the amount of $15,000 for the first year to be funded by the Information Services budget and at a cost of $15,000 annually for the subsequent years for the open records software to be funded by the Records Department budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Elliot?
Yes, it's going to be me speaking, but I'm going to defer to Director Nichols.
Good morning, Madam
morning.
Chair,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Vice Chair, Commissioners, and Administration. Danielle Nichols, Managing Director of General Services. This request is to introduce and implement a records management software for the Records Department. Right now, we are manually processing all requests, and so introducing this software will introduce efficiencies, eliminate redundancies, and also make it more manageable with respect to the open records requests that we receive. So while the initial implementation costs will fall under the IS department, renewal will then lie with the Department of Records, and it will be a part of their budget. I'm happy to answer any questions about that component before Director Elliott Buggs answers any questions regarding the implementation process.
Any questions, board? No questions?
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much, Director.
Number 19 is approval to
Thank you.
amend the Code of Ordinances at Chapter 5, Animals and Fowl, to add an article entitled Article 9, Prohibition of Sales and Displays of Dogs, Cats, and Domestic Rabbits in Public Areas, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Vanessa Francikowski.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, and County Administration. This comes off the heels of House Bill 331 that Governor Kemp signed into law in July. That is an actual ban prohibiting the outdoor sales of dogs, cats, and rabbits in outdoor locations such as Walmart, flea markets, things like that. We will be one of the 6 counties that would adopt this into our ordinance at this point. Most of the major communities, Fulton County, Gwinnett, have already adopted it in there. We're following suit. This is a large problem that we do have within Douglas County and in the surrounding counties. And this is going to be the cherry on the top to what we're planning on a larger scale with planning and zoning, code enforcement, occupational tax, and Department of Agriculture to go ahead and stop the breeding, the unlicensed breeding and the unwanted animals that are going on in Douglas County.
Okay. Any questions, board? All right, no questions?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Number 20, approval of an agreement with Train to secure equipment and refurbish the courthouse chiller in the amount of $474,521 to be funded by SPLOST 2022 fund, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Julia Janka.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, County Administration. Excuse me. This is for the chiller project renovation. On February 29, 2024, the commission approved a lot of list of projects under, and HVAC was an approved project under the facilities budget. This is the first time we're actively using the facilities budget, so we're coming before to submit this as an authorized project to proceed to replace and upgrade the chillers for the courthouse.
Okay. Any questions, board? Nope, pretty self-explanatory. Thank you.
Okay. Number 21, approval of a contract with Comcast to purchase equipment and services for security and access system for the Chicago Maintenance Complex in the amount of $69,214.60 to be funded by SPLOST 2022 fund and transportation for the duration of 5 years, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Julia Janka.
Good morning again. This project is part of the whole Chicago Maintenance Avenue renovation initiative. The DOT Transportation is actively built recently the maintenance building. We're renovating the storage facility. Eventually, we'll be putting in a new fence, and the whole front of the structure will be very clean and neat looking for the citizens of Douglas County. With that said, part of the process is providing adequate security. And I do want to note that I do have a positive change to this note. We were able to, with multiple in collaborations with IT, Elliott, Bugs, and Comcast, we were able to reduce the 5-year agreement down by $3,460.73. So the total cost of this initiative will be $65,753.87. I'm working actively with Comcast to get us a better value customer discount on all our projects, and we will be doing this and several others in the next couple of sessions to get security for all our new facilities in the Douglas County.
Okay. Any questions, board? Commissioner Mitchell, you have the floor.
Can you help me understand the security side of this? What do you mean, like an armed guard standing out front?
Oh, no, sir. This is cameras for the facilities, it's door access points, being able to have a revised system. There is an existing antiquated system for only part of the facility, and once we do the new renovation with the fence and everything, this will allow us to control, we'll help me go down to 2 gates. We'll have controlled access into the facility. We'll be able to provide better protection. We'll have access and cameras to the fuel station, to the maintenance building, to the new the renovated storage facility. So this will provide a footprint for us to be able to see and protect our personnel as well as protect Douglas County.
It looks nice. It really does look nice. So I'm assuming there's going to be a gate up front and, like you said, 2 access off Chicago, and I don't know if there's going to be another access entrance.
There's going to be an employee entrance and heavy vehicle access, and they'll be on opposite ends of the corner.
Okay.
Right now, there's 3 entrances. The middle one will go away, and so we'll have one controlled for heavy use and one controlled for employee. The employee side will be the public side during 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but on nights and weekends, both will require a coded access to be able to enter the facility to restrict access.
And Comcast is going to provide the camera side of this?
Yes, the cameras and also the door access. So if, for instance, maintenance has to stand up a 24-hour situation due to weather or whatever, the people that are running inside the main maintenance building are protected. People have access and control into that facility, and there's a sense of safety. As you all know, in the past, that site had been publicized about somebody hiding out there. a wanted person, so
Got
we're
it.
trying to make sure our people are safe, as well as providing a safe environment for the public.
Understood. And so with that, how is that going to tie in with Elliot and the whole IT?
Elliot and I have divided and conquered the needs for our projects. He is working on what I call the fiber, the internet. He brings us the communication into the facility. I'm working with, because I work with the builders and the site plans, I'm working with the security cameras and making sure the access points are set up and designed and they're in compliance. Elliot and I partner together. He reviews all plans, all agreements. It's just we're trying to just keep the workload where I'm more focused on, because I work with the architects directly, and we can put in the placement of what we need to do to cable or run wire,
Got
et
it.
cetera.
So if there was an alert for some strange reason, that will be signal sent to Comcast, or will
It
be
goes
sent-
directly to, we have a localized system.
Okay.
Eventually, at some point, we may come back and be able to centralize all the systems back, but we're not addressing that at this point. It's more localized at that one facility to
Okay.
have a central monitoring station.
Okay, good. But job well done, though, Julia. God,
you.
great job. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Any other questions forward? All right, thank you so much, Director
Thank you.
Jenka. Mhm. All right.
Okay.
Madam Clerk.
Our last item, number 23, authorization to create a Douglas County Audit Committee, and Commissioner Raxton is backing that.
All right, thank you. So, based on the last time we met, we agreed to put some additional information and language in here that talks specifically about the meetings, how often the meetings will be held. So initially, we're looking at quarterly meetings or additional meetings as needed, of course, following Robert's Rules of Order. One change I do want to note that was not in the copy of the version that you currently have as far as the requirements is that we reduced the number of years of experience from 10 years down to 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 years of experience or a combination thereof of experience. We also talked or added language in here in regards to more of the committee's responsibilities, areas that they will be supporting as well as reporting. And one of the things I did want to highlight is that the committee will be providing a summary report and audit results to the Board of Commissioners. And that will be an annual or as needed if attention needs to be drawn or if there's a critical or significant issue identified by the committee throughout the calendar year, that will be shared and communicated to the Board of Commissioners. So again, just putting more rules and procedures as requested into the proclamation or into the document. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Any questions forward? I just had one for you, Commissioner Raxton. It was, I just saw it a second ago. Oh, 7 members. I thought
Yes.
it was 5.
It was 7, so it's 5 members. Each one of the Board of Commissioners will have an appointee, and then 2 members from the board itself, for a total of 7.
Okay. And you say you changed the number of years of experience from 3 to 5?
3 to 5 versus the 10.
Okay, because I thought I saw where one commissioner submitted 5 to 7. So was it 5 to 7 or 3 to 5?
It was 3 to 5, yeah. 3 to 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to look at could we take a peek at the qualifications? Would you be so kind to read those? I want to
Sure.
make sure.
So the qualifications, each member of the audit committee shall meet the following requirements: be a citizen of Douglas County, possess professional proficiency in auditing or financial analyst, including certification as a CPA or a certified internal auditor, hold a minimum of a bachelor's degree, master's degree is preferred in accounting, business administration, public policy, public administration, economics, or related field, or a combination of experience, have 3 to 5 years of experience in government financial analysis, evaluation, or auditing, attend and participate in the committee meetings, prepare in advance of the committee meetings by reviewing materials and reports, and maintain the ability to be objective, independent, and confidential.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted for the public. Okay.
All right.
Any questions for it?
Just
Commissioner Mitchell?
I guess I just would like to kind of do a bit more, in-depth reading of this. And I probably should have, you may have already submitted this weeks in advance, but I just want to spend a little bit more time with it. because I've got some further questions, but I can probably share that with you offline.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good. Thank you.
so,
All right, if there's nothing else,
so,
Madam Clerk, please.
but let's not put this on the consent agenda, though. That's what I'm alluding to.
You want it to be new business? Is that what you?
That's fine, yeah,
Okay.
as long as it's not on the consent agenda.
Okay. All right. Madam Clerk, anything else before? Okay. Board of Commissioners, do you have any remarks or comments before I tap on the shoulders of our wonderful county attorney regarding executive session? Any comments? Okay. With that being said, County Attorney, do we need to go into executive session for the following? And you're so kind to always write about litigation, personnel, real estate, and cybersecurity.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right. Board of Commissioners, certainly we need to go into executive session, but so kindly I want to be respectful to our citizens. We're taking a temporary pause for the cause to go into executive session as soon as I get a vote from the Board of Commissioners, and we appreciate your patience. We shall return as soon as our meeting is over, our executive session is over. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, or please prepare to cast your votes. Okay.
Try to hurry up.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we have a 5-0 unanimous vote to go into executive session, and the motion carries with no opposition. And Board of Commissioners, we will see you in executive session.